What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you guys into episode 2 of One-on-One. Today I have a special guest. This brother is a really good coach, championship pedigree coach, NFL caliber coach. Listen, I like to give guys their flowers, but today we have our guest, none other than Salem's head coach, Coach Montre Wright. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
Glad to see you, glad to have you in. Wanted to get you in, man. This is something new we started, but wanted to make sure we had some of the best coaches around out there.
Definitely. It's an honor to be here, just here celebrating with you, man, all the accomplishments you got going on. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I pay attention to everything you got going on, so I'll give you your flowers for, let me be here today, man. It's special.
Appreciate it. So for everybody that doesn't know, we like to take a trip down memory lane. You know, some of these coaches we just see from the sideline, right? So we know we go to the games, people screaming from the sideline, right. Coach, what you doing? They really don't know who the coach is, but they just screaming. Yeah. So where did it all start for you growing up? Where you from, All
right, so, I grew up in Salem, born and raised, man. Started, elementary school, middle school, high school in Salem. So played youth league in Salem, midget football. Did a midget football in Salem. That was my mother and father, grew up in the projects in Salem, small housing development. So, I'm very familiar with everything that's going on in Salem. And it's tough. It was a tough place growing up, but you got to stay. I kept a good mind, going, into everything I was going to for sports and things like that. Of course, you have your, your roller coaster, your hiccups, but I was able to bounce back from it.
Yeah, that's always good, man, especially when you have people that are from that area that know the area.
Right.
Salem's a special place.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, places that go through adversity, like I'm from Camden, so people don't understand the special things that go on in Camden outside of what you see on the news, right? So growing up during that time, like you said, you had, the little ups and downs and stuff like that. But who were some of the people that kind of kept you grounded and staying on track or helping you get back on track?
Well, obviously your parents.
Right.
My mom was always there. My dad was always there. When I started playing football, it's crazy because I was playing baseball before I was playing football.
Yeah.
So I ended up crossing over to football, and a few guys I want to say my principal, Mr. Mulhorn, he was one of the guys, that always talked to me when I was a young kid. He used to see me in the community, things like that. He actually lived in Salem at the time too. Okay. So he was always a guy like, you should play football, you playing baseball, play football too. Mm-hmm. So, Coach Carr, Kim Carr.
Kim Carr, yeah.
Kim Carr is one of the guys, grabbed me by the shoulders, like, yo, we need you out here. So he was one of the guys that get me out there, and, start making noise on the football field. And he kept me out there ever since, man. And the relationship between me and Coach Carr was different. He could relate to you at the time, man. I'll give you a short story. So I think DMX album first came out.
Okay.
So, DMX just dropped his first album. And we had a little store in Salem called Patrick's. So I had all the CDs, and I went there and bought it. I bought the CD. Coach Carr found out I had the CD. So we ended up having a listening party, man. Just, we listened to that thing, and just to see a coach sit here and vibe with you, and bob with you on that type of time was different. Yeah, something different because you don't get that everywhere, man. Mm-hmm. So that was like, all right, I could rock with this dude, man. He's from Salem, and he feel what was going on with me. So that kind of gave us a different love right there, man. And he was one of the guys to get me out there, just get you going. Who I am, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really telling because I can see some of that in the way that you are with your players and the way that, you coach those guys.
Right.
And I really think that's important of having a coach that you can relate to. Somebody that, when things are a little rough, you can go and have that conversation with them off the cuff, because a lot of times with coaches and principal people in position of power, especially young kids look up to them, feel like they can't touch them. Absolutely. You know what I mean? They can't have that one-on-one conversation, but that's dope. Oh,
man. Yeah. That was one of the many things that, Coach Carr did, man. So he played definitely a huge part, when I had going on, as a kid, man. He worked in the middle school with us, so I remember one day I got detention for him, goofing around the class, So he kept me at the school for like a half an hour, man. And this guy, like, we ended up walking home together.
Wow.
So like you walking through the streets of Salem with your teacher, like
Right.
He going to a little gated community called Wilson Wooders at the time. He was walking there, I was going to East Side, and we just split ways. Like, yo, this is my coach. Like, you know what I mean, what's going on? Like, so you know, it was different. It was a different feel, man. Like it was good to experience that and like listen to him, you know, talk to me. So he definitely played a major part. You know, what I had going on.
So once you finished high school, what was the next path for you? The journey?
Well, high school, you know, I was heavily recruited in high school. I was Rutgers, Miami. I mean, all the big East schools. You know, Syracuse. I mean, Coach Jonathan, he's at Rutgers now, and we just had a recent conversation about how he recruited me in high school. So, you know, my freshman and sophomore year kind of like screwed me in high school. Like I was being a goofball, man, and I ended up having a low GPA to go where I actually wanted to go. So, but I actually ended up landing, to a junior college. But before we get to all that, like freshman and sophomore year obviously, messed me up. My junior and senior year, I got a different focus. And actually, Coach Carter ended up going to Pennsylvania at the time.
Right.
So it was good that I caught that focus when he left because I mean I could have went left. I didn't have that leadership that he was giving me. So he ended up going to Pennsgrove. He still had our head coach, but he was an assistant. But he was more involved with us a little bit more. So when he went over there, we ended up getting my junior year. I ended up getting refocused, and I got to step up at the plate. So it was kind of too late though. But I got at the last minute, which kind of sucked a little bit. But I grew my junior year. Then my senior year, my coach, Coach Lindemuth at the time, he ended up stepping down, and that's when Coach Henson came in.
Oh wow!
So Coach Henson came in my senior year. He coached me even with the 6 months that we spent together because he ended up going to Timber Creek after he coaching us. So I feel like I know him forever. So he kind of like, even with Coach Carr like steering me, it was like, all right, now you mean Coach Henson now. So like he put a lot of different perspectives in my mind. It was hard on me, it was hard on me, and I wanted to run through a wall for this guy. Right. 'Cause we put a bond and a love in like a matter of months. Right. He relied on me, I relied on him, and he actually, brought me up to be more responsible. So, he was a big factor. He caught me at the right time going into college. So like he was a guy for me. So, and he helped me get into a junior college at Dean in Massachusetts. So that was a real big deal, because I didn't think I was going to go, based on my grades and, it was a bad situation at that time.
It's crazy that you say that because Henson coached me in high school too on the back end.
Yeah, the tree. Henson tree, yeah.
And it's like I'm hearing your story and I'm hearing a bit of mine as well.
Right.
Mine was reversed. My first 2 years I tore it up, freshman and sophomore. The back end, 1 year ineligible, then the senior year was kind of like, I was just there. Right. So it was like, yo, you need stuff to get into school. Absolutely. So wind up going Juco. So I know that Juco experience.
Oh, it's a grind.
Let's get into that, man.
Man, look, man, when you go, you got to have a different mentality. You got to have a different mentality, like a ramen noodle, peanut butter and jelly mentality. You know what I mean? So when I went, I was like, this is rough, man. You got a roster. We had a roster of 150 kids.
Exactly.
And this time I'm in junior college with Martha McKinney, Art Ellis from Sterling, Nubs from Woodbury. Like we all up at Dean, and we like, man, like this is different.
This is rough,
man, because you got 150 kids on the roster. You got to get film to get up out of there. So you grinding every day. It's an everyday grind. You can't afford to get hurt. And just the environment, man. It was crazy, man. Like you got a lot of personalities that you never came across at home. And you see like guys coming from Atlanta, Miami, and places like that. You're like, oh, this is for real.
So during that time period, I know, for me at Juco, when I went, we had about 110 guys. Right. So I went as a quarterback, and they had 6 quarterbacks on the roster. By that second week, it was down to 3. Right. So you get guys.
So that'll give you perspective. That'll give you perspective of how it is.
Yeah. So you go Juco. Yeah. Oh, what's next? Where we headed next?
Oh man, this guy obviously had some hiccups going to Juco too. So I went to junior college, small Salem kid out in Massachusetts. Going up in Boston. Going to different places. Partying stuff like that.
Right.
just wasn't focused. I lost focus because I was a small kid. I've never been in an environment like that. So obviously work wasn't a big deal to me at that time because I just wanted to play football and just be free because I was away from home.
Right.
You know, I never, like I said, big city. I never seen that stuff before. So kind of got away a little bit, and I ended up getting academically suspended.
Okay.
So I got academically suspended from the school, and I went home, and I just felt like, you know, like, dang, I kind of let people down.
Right.
They looked up to me to be the guy to represent the community. And Coach Henson, he bust his hump, you know, getting me into that school. So I kind of felt like
You let him down.
I let him down,
Right.
you know. So it was like I had that burden on me when I went back home, and then I started working in a warehouse. McLean's, they service all the Wild.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, so 5 in the morning I'm working. I'm talking to guys that been here for 15 and 20 years. I'm telling them, like,
I ain't gonna be here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, I can't see myself being here this long doing the same routine every single day. Like, it was humbling because I'm hearing their stories. I'm like, yo, I was blessed with opportunity and I kind of like blew it. So like that kind of humbled me a little bit, you know. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to college. I went to community college, took over the class that I failed, and I'm transferring back to Dean.
Okay.
And I went back there and played ball, graduated left with a 3.6.
Right.
So before I left, Coach Accorsi from Rowan called me. And Coach Hendricks that's at Kingsway now.
Right.
So he found out, like, yo, Trey, you want to come back home and, you know, ball out, you know, at Rowan. And this is the time where he brought in me, Hussein Shakir, you know, a lot of dudes. You know,
guys,
Frank Wachensky was at University of Delaware at the time. He ended up coming over to Rowan to be our Q. So he brought in like a lot of guys with Division I caliber. They knew what they were doing for us recruiting us. So they brought it with a special group, and I'm going to Rowan, man, and playing there for 2 years, and graduated 2011.
Right. So that perspective right now, we see a lot of the young guys going, you know, off to school, Jucos, you know, prep school, D1s, D2s, D3s. So what was your experience like? Did you enjoy it? Did you feel like that was the best thing for you at the time? Like,
a lot of people see a lot of kids, you know, they hear D3 think it's sweet. Like, it was nothing sweet about D3. Like, we're going against dudes every week. A lot of dudes who just like you who had the opportunity to go D1, but they, you know, messed up and they got to go a different way. So, and this is their shot to actually get what they didn't get in the beginning. So, you know, you compete with these guys. I mean, like, I don't know if you remember Steve Slate from West Virginia.
Yep.
So his backup played for King. So we're going against dudes like that, you know, every week. So it was a grind, man. And because I was one of those guys like D3, like, I'm not trying to go D3.
Right.
But then when I went and actually played in the game, I said,
they
man,
can
ain't
play
nothing sweet about this. Yeah, there's nothing sweet about this. It's like you know, a high level football, just as any other level. You just got the lower market, you know, going on. That's the only thing difference between it.
You may have guys a little undersized.
Yeah,
and things like that,
a few undersized guys. Yeah,
it's still good football.
But the heart is different.
Yeah,
I met a lot of undersized guys, but it was bringing it. They were bringing it. So,
you go to Rowan, man, and like you said, you was working in a factory.
Yeah.
So how did you get to the point of being a football coach? Like, what got you into that?
All right, so remember Mr. Smallhorn, my
Right.
principal, when I was a kid. So he found out I graduated college. And he was working at the middle school at the time in Salem. You know, Salem Middle School, you know, inner city. You know, a lot of kids I know from the community. You know, adolescents, you know, kids, you know, basically, you know, kids.
Right.
So he found out I graduated, and he brought me in. Like, you know, I want you to come in, you know, sub a class, for like 2 weeks. I was like, all right, I'll do it. You know, I came in, and when I went in there, they happened to put me in one of the, you know, the toughest classes in school.
The quote unquote the bad class.
Like, so I ended up going in there, and because I get the teachers on medical leave, so I go in, and he walked in one day. He was like, "What?" Like, the kids are just silent, so they were just doing their work, silent, quiet, nobody talking. You know what I mean? So right there, kind of like, he's like, "Oh, this dude is for real." You know what I'm saying? So he got that mindset, like, this dude's not playing, man. Like, he got these kids in line, like, so it was like in his mind, "Oh, this is a no-brainer. I gotta have him here with me." So it took off ever since, man. From start at the middle school with him, like, he was a guy, you know.
That got you in there.
Yeah, that got me in there. Yeah,
so your first coaching job.
So my first coaching job. So I happened to be at the middle school at the time, and Dennis Thomas, he just got the job at Salem. Just got the job at Salem. he reached out to me, yo, Trey, you just got out of college. I want you to come and coach with me. And right there, now Dennis is always the guy I knew. He always talked to me when I was a young boy too. He's always in my ear. He's at Rutgers at the time. And but he brought me on, and we was taking over a program where the kids were 0-10. The kids were 0-10 the year before.
Okay. And
we watched film. That's the first thing we did. We got the job. We watched film. And it was like, yo, this is not an 0-10 football team. Like these kids they're good. Just some things just happened to go on at the time they were there. But so we took over, man. Dennis automatically started grinding. Like we got to get our kids out of the city. Some of these kids are too smart to be in the situation they're in. So we had a lot of cleaning up to do. Had a lot of cleaning up to do, and we just grind. We just grind from there, man.
Right.
Just took off.
So you said another name, Dennis Thomas.
Yes, sir.
So you've had Kemp Carr, Bobby Henson,
Coach Henson,
and Dennis Thomas.
Yep, Dennis Thomas.
All right, now I'm not taking nothing away from the administrator that got you into it.
Right.
We're talking about football now.
Right.
Those are 3 strong figures.
Oh yeah.
And you make the 4th. So that whole mold is.
I was blessed to be a part of it.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
That's amazing.
Because I seen how all personalities work, and I was like pulling stuff from each personality. Like, all right. Like Dennis, he'll do something. I'm like, I like that. I'm gonna take that. Coach Carr, he do something. I like that. I'm gonna take that. Coach Henson, take some stuff he did. So I was blessed to even see all 3 and how they work.
Right.
And obviously all 3 got rings.
Right.
So, yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So you deal with championship caliber coaches, and just you wanna pull from stuff that they do. To get the opportunity so you can put it to your kids as well. And what better people to be around, to do that.
Right. So, we go through coaching, and we reach a lot of kids, on the average. You're in a smaller town, your roster, what's your roster size average?
My roster about 38 kids.
About 38.
38 kids.
Okay, so you're close to 40, some or more, the bigger schools.
Right.
So you have your hands on a lot of kids, or you don't have to say any names in particular kids,
right.
But is it some kids that you wish you could have touched just a little bit and you feel like they would have had that it factor? It was just maybe something missing.
I would say it's a few kids that you'd be like, you would go back and like, what could we have done different? To make this kid realize, like
his potential,
right?
Yeah,
okay. Potential. Now that's a big thing that you always question as a coach, like what could you do different to tap into this kid's potential sooner? So that weighs on you, in the inner city. That weighs on you a lot because you want all your kids to be successful.
Right.
You don't want them to end up in the streets. You don't want them to, just go about doing, all the wrong things. So, that's always a question that you always have in your mind.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I would say that.
But you've been on both ends of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
And that perspective is a good one to have that, people need to hear. Sometimes we don't reach the kids that we wish we could have reached.
Right.
And then we reach the ones and they take it in and they take off.
Right.
So it's like a thin line, man. Coaches kind of get that. The coaches get the good and the bad.
Yeah, definitely. It comes with it. You just gotta be ready for it. And I think the biggest blessing I had, my superintendent, man. Like he's like the best person I came across, like far as like professional wise, molding me,
right.
Giving me opportunity to fail and see why I'm failing, and then building me up from there. So he definitely plays a big part in all my success I got going on, especially
right.
with the kids. Because you don't find too many superintendents who wants your kids, and he's going to push your kids to be successful. He's going to sit down with your kids, as a whole, and the culture you see in Salem right now, he's definitely a big part of that because he works endless, man. Surprised he'll probably call me right now, ask me about a kid. That's the relationship we got.
Right.
Just to make, but it's all about the kids.
Right.
All about the kids. We got to make sure our kids are successful, understanding the environment, and just giving them opportunity academically. That was like one of the things we had to clean up as well. Because we got a lot of smart kids in Salem, and I felt like potentially why they wasn't being tapped into.
Right.
So put them in the most rigorous courses, in the school, tapping into their mind, get them advanced placement classes and make sure they graduate with like 30 plus credits to go to college as sophomores. So this is the stuff me and my superintendent, like, yo, we can do this. You know, this is stuff that he put to the table. We sat down and got a blueprint, and it's been on ever since.
Do you think your experience in high school at that time played into the success that you having with that?
Absolutely, because I knew I wasn't getting opportunity stuff. The stuff that the kids have now, I wasn't getting that. Like I didn't even know who my superintendent was.
I didn't either.
You know what I'm saying?
Either.
Like I didn't know who my superintendent was. Like to this day, they say that was the superintendent of high school. Oh, I never knew.
Right.
You know, so like the stuff that the kids have now. I mean, I never had the opportunity to have, and to see it, I'm like, oh, these kids don't have a one for nothing.
Right.
Our guys don't have a one for anything. Like you have to really do bad. Like really do bad
to
fail. Like really do bad because we have so much stuff put in place for our kids to be successful, man. And it's, I mean, I just wish everybody can come down and see it, man, to see how our kids work,
right?
And academically and the things we got in place, because they won't believe it,
right?
Like nobody would believe it.
One of the things I told my son, man, before he went to high school,
right?
I said, you got no reason to fail.
None.
I said, you got a phone in your pocket where if you don't know the question, you can ask your phone the question and it'll give you the answer.
Right.
So it's just about if you want to apply yourself,
right.
like you said. But I guarantee your experience that you had is a big factor, man. People can read that off of people too with your presence.
Yeah, like, me and the kids, we talk all the time. Like, when a kid do something like, look, man, I'm probably worse than you. So they look at me like, yeah, like, I know what's going on.
Right.
You know, I'm hip to everything you got, what's going on out here, because, you know, I'm 34. So I pretty much know, you know, what's going on as far as, like, even the hip-hop culture and things.
Right.
And just knowing what the kids are, you know, listening to and putting in their minds, you got to make sure you let them know that stuff's not real.
Yeah,
you know, stuff that you're hearing, like, it's cool to listen to and vibe to it, but, man, that's not real,
right.
man. And that's, like, one of the biggest things I heard right now. You know, the music, you know, the kids listening to, and, you know, all the stuff that comes with that. And I'm just blessed to even, you know, be close to know, you know, to even talk to you guys to get them to understand that this stuff is not real, what's going on with you guys right now, yeah.
So with social media, you kind of touched on it as far as the music goes.
Right.
But the social media aspect as far as football players, you know, with the offers and all of that stuff coming in, everybody leans to the coach to coach.
Oh, hustle, yeah.
I want to
Right.
Like, how do you balance that, and how do you get the kids to understand, like, listen, man, somebody may have an offer that may be this type of offer, or, you know, he has this. Right. How do you get them to understand that GPA, all of that goes into it?
Well, when we get our kids, they first come in. All our freshmen, when they first come in, we talk about the clearinghouse situation. We even go over size. Like, size, Division I requires a certain size, a certain work ethic, a certain personality. So we tell these kids from day one, you know, what's required to be a Division I football player.
Right.
So that way, when they get to that point, they don't get discouraged. They see a lot of kids getting offers, and then, well, Coach did tell me about this, and you know, we did go over this situation as far as my height, my size, you know, things like that, because that's a dream for some kids.
Yeah,
it's a dream for some kids, and we have a lot of tweeners. We have kids that can go D1, but it's always a question like their size or things like that, or, you know, so it's tough, man, because a lot of kids get discouraged, man, and as a head coach, you're like, dang, this kid really could be a guy on that next level. But you just got to make sure you keep them focusing on a mission, and that's, you know, graduate high school, that's one, and academically making sure that they're eligible to go to Division I when the opportunity does come. Right. So you just got to, you know, roll them back in. But it's tough, man, because like I said, social media, a lot of kids are posting they're posting these offers, and, you know, a kid like, dang, I know this kid, I should be getting an offer, like, you know, and it's tough, man. You know, it's a lot on the kids, but I try to, you know, get those kids out to pay attention to that. Keep away from that social media thing as far as that goes, you know. Yeah. Because some offers getting posted is not real. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, like, I know a handful of offers that go out, and some of those kids end up then go to those places. So, you know, you can't really believe what you see on social media these days.
It's an illusion. Some of it is an illusion.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the biggest guy to come out of Salem at the time. If you living in a rock, all right, if you live under a rock, somewhere, you don't know who I'm talking about, but I'm talking about none other than Salem's Jonathan Taylor. You had the pleasure of coaching him.
Right.
And I'll tell you my first experience with hearing about Jonathan Taylor, right? It wasn't even football. It was track. Seeing him on the track, I'm like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? I'm like, and they like, you don't know who that is? I'm like, who is this guy? It's a grown man. Somebody's dad is out there running. You know what I'm saying? So seeing that, and I think that was his junior year, like get ready to go into his senior year, I believe. And that's when I first heard about him.
Right.
So for me, that was my first experience. What was your first experience of? And I know y'all had it back before Jonathan,
right?
But come on, that's.
Well, me and JT grew up in church together.
Okay.
So I'll start there. We grew up in church, man. When Jay was like 5, I was like probably freshman in high school. So I already knew him, growing up in Salem. But when he came and played football for us his freshman year, and we had I'll never forget, we had a scrimmage, and like the first play called interception and took it to the house. And this is a varsity level, like freshman doing it. I'm like, that's different. That's a little different. And he kind of separated himself from a lot of kids. So I was like, oh, this kid's pretty good. Like, and that was just one of the things he did, that caught my eye a little bit. I'm like, because the question was, why he has all the athletic ability here with us now. What happened to the lower level? Why did he perform at the lower level? So that was like, it was like weird to us because of course we had Zaire Jones.
Right, that's what I'm
saying. He was tearing it up down there. Who was a year younger, but all you heard was, Zaire Jones, Isam Golden, all those guys, and then JT just came, he arrived, and we were like, yo, this kid is the truth.
Right.
And that was a freshman. As a freshman, you kind of seen it. So it was special. Like the introduction to him was like one of the special ones. So
yeah, you got JT. He's in a place where, you're coming in, you're coaching, you're trying to figure out who guys are, you're trying to get your feet under you.
Right.
And when he took off at that point, I'm kind of jumping to when he kind of started to take off.
Right.
Like, did you feel like he was special? Like where he is now, did you feel like that was his potential?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Because one thing about him, he didn't stop working. Like at that age where you got a 14, 15-year-old kid who's willing to work no matter what, even when nobody's around, I was like, oh, he's different. At that point, I know he was different from a lot of kids because I would go to the field one day and just, go to the locker room. I got to get something out the locker room. I look on the back field, JT back there on the bags. So like things like that. Kind of like, oh, this kid, he wants it. And he was just all in. Just all in. Call you or text you, ask you, what are we doing in practice today? Something small like that. Like, all right, what running back drills we going to put, what are we doing? And things like so now he's paid attention to detail. So, and this, like I said, the hard work and the detail and everything that he wanted for, he was all in. It's all about football.
Right.
All about football. Extremely strong in the weight room, was all about technique. So at that young age, you got a kid like that, I was like, oh, he's ready.
He's focused,
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready.
Yeah, that focus is very, very rare. I guess the guy that I would compare JT, he was at your the camp as well, was Quanzel Lambert when I coached him in 8th grade. It was just like he was a man, and the other guys was just
like
boys.
right here, mentality-wise, just everything was just different, and the athleticism, we ain't got speak on that. Right. He had it. He was one of the guys where if you have an athletic kid, you always say, I wish he would have worked harder.
Right.
So JT was an athletic kid. He just happened to work hard.
Work hard.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that people seen. Like, oh, he got the talent you got, but the difference that separates you from him is he's working.
Right.
He's working.
Right. That mentality. Man.
So.
That mentality. I saw that over the last couple of years with Tarheeb Still.
Right.
He was a guy mentally.
Right.
That he was on the same level as some other guys athletically, but that mental, that focus, that attention to detail that you speak of, it just puts you on a different track, man. So you guys, JT winds up going to
He committed to Rutgers.
Rutgers first, and then
So the commitment to Rutgers, man.
I know they hot right now.
Yeah, man. That story. That was some stuff, man. We just bounced back from that.
Right.
Like that. But he committed to Rutgers after he ran the 4.43 at the Nike Open.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to the Nike Open. I took him to the Nike Open, and I'm in the car with him, like, yo, man, because he kept talking about getting under a 4.5. The whole ride we talking about, I need to get under a 4.5. I need to get under a 4.5. And I'm like, this is what happened today. You be all right. Just work. Just like, make sure you sweat before you run. Stay loose. So when he cracked that 4.42, I get a call from Rutgers. Like, I guess they ended up finding out that 10 minutes after.
Yeah.
So they're like, what is he going to do, man? What's going on? Is he going to commit? All this other. I said, just pay attention. He got something for you guys at the end of the camp. So he ended up committing that day. With Coach Ash, and they start going crazy.
Right.
And it was an exciting time because this is a small Salem kid who just beat a lot of basically everybody, the fastest man at the Nike Open, just won that, and it was just amazing, man. Like just being a part of that and seeing that, because I knew this kid, growing up, and seeing he getting everything he worked for. I'm just watching it, he's getting everything from it. It was beautiful, man, just watching that. And when he committed, that made Rutgers real excited, because they know they got a dude, at that point. Yeah. So. He was the
hidden gem, man.
Oh yeah.
He was the hidden gem. They probably mad he went to
Man,
that.
so now the Wisconsin deal, that's a different story on its own. So he always wanted to go to Wisconsin. That was his dream school. So in 8th grade, he basically, I'm subbing in the classroom at the time. I was in middle school, and he's like, yeah, I want to go to Wisconsin. This is when he was 8th grade. So I'm like, oh, that's dope. And then the reason why, because Corey Clement, he was doing this thing in Wisconsin. He's like, yo, JT, I can do that too. So, and then when they came in, and he was in high school, and when I called Coach Turner, he came and checked him out, and his eyes just lit up that day when he walked in the office. Like, that's Wisconsin. Like, yeah, that's Coach Turner. And he laid eyes on him and watched a little bit of film, and he took it back to Coach Sell. Coach Sell was like, nah, I don't want this kid. At first, it was a no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a no. I'm like, what? You saying no? Like, what's the reason? I need to see more flash in this film. I need to see him separate from guys. So at this point, I'm like, okay, he just won me the championship his junior year.
Right.
We got paid attention. I sent you this 100 times, stuff like that. Still was a no.
Right.
So I was kind of baffled at that point. And then, of course, it was more into it, like Group 1 football. He's playing against, Group 1 teams. I'm thinking at the time, like, he's on the field, you're on the field with anybody. So I told Jonathan Taylor, go to Group 5 school and start right now and be a dude. It don't matter, you know what I'm saying? So the group don't really matter. Yeah. Even if you look at, it's off topic, but look at Paulsboro, look at the amount of guys they got in the NFL. So that stuff doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So that was a no at first, and he came to a track meet. So he came to a track meet, watched him run, and JT ran like a 10.5, 10.4, a little easy 10.4, 10.5 that day. He looked back at me, gave a thumbs up, said he was offered. So, you know what I'm saying? So that was like one of the special moments, and I told Jonathan, Wisconsin just offered you. He just,
awesome.
And then,
that's special, man.
Yeah, it was, man. It was like a good deal, but, the part that hurt the most, we had to call Rutgers and say,
let me talk to you, Coach.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, Coach, this is his dream school academically. Feel like it's a good fit. Philosophy-wise, they run the ball. I mean, what any running back wouldn't want to go to Wisconsin?
That's the dream school.
Yeah.
If especially Jonathan is like a one-cut downhill runner.
Right.
So, like...
Yeah, that was like the perfect fit.
Listen,
perfect fit.
I mean, no disrespect to Rutgers
during
that time, but
they were just figuring their stuff out.
Yes.
As far as scheme, philosophy, who are we, what do we want to run?
Right.
And we just thought it was bad timing. Good people were just bad timing.
Bad timing, yeah.
That was
those 6'7" offensive linemen at Wisconsin. That probably helped a little bit too.
You going on a visit, you looking up at the lineman like, oh yeah, this is where I want to be.
This is where I want to be, man.
This is where I want to be.
So that's very special. Jonathan goes, get drafted. You guys planned, I think, last year to do the camp, and you wind up getting off because of COVID. You canceled it, but this year you got it off the ground.
Right.
Great event. How did that all come about even putting it all together?
So we were talking about it. Like, it was always something we wanted to do. So we got a group chat. So we'll talk.
Okay.
Like, I got a group chat with my alumni guys. You know, just I keep tabs with them, make sure they're good. So, and John's in that group chat.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
That is really, really, dope to reach back. Guys graduate, and you see them coming up through the high school. You talking to them there, but a lot of times coaches do fall off with their guys.
Absolutely.
So that's real. That's real dope.
So it's like a big group chat we got, and Jonathan's in it. So we're like, yo, I need all you guys to come back. John's putting together a camp, featuring our high school, obviously. And just I want you guys to come back and make it a big day, because this is what we always talked about.
Celebration.
Yeah, celebration. And like I said, man, like, we got it right. We got it now. We got this. We got the city. We got it right now. So we need to show everybody, we're not the Salem everybody got in their mind. We want to get rid of that stigma. So, and it was a perfect, what better day to get all those guys back and Jonathan and just show everybody like who we really are.
Yeah.
So that was like a
came out,
beautiful
man.
day. Yeah, it was. Have all you came out. Gridiron Access. Those guys. Shout out to those guys. I mean, the prosecutors, state troopers. I mean, everybody, man. So it was like a day where it was like, yo, this is legit.
That's special, man.
Yeah.
That is really special. I mean, I drove down. It usually take me about 50 minutes to get down, but I called you. I talked to you before, and I tell you, like, I like Salem.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, Salem, Pennsgrove, I like those towns. I play around with their, with the fans and the guys joking around.
Tough crowd, man.
Yeah.
You gotta know what you're doing with. It's a tough crowd.
But it reminds me of back home in Mississippi where I grew up. You know, you don't have a bunch of cities and stuff like that, so you guys really know each other. So it really makes it a special place and a special time when you guys are bringing everybody back.
Right.
And that's what I felt when I was walking. I was like, yo, this is like,
it's love, yeah.
It's family. Like, everybody there.
And it's like all the people I named, except my coach Hitch, and obviously couldn't be there because of Rutgers, but they were there.
They were there.
Principal, my superintendent, Dennis, Kemp. So like the love goes deeper than that. You know what I mean? It goes from those guys too. So just everybody that had something to do with Salem football was all there that day, and I was like, yeah, like this is like what we always envisioned it to be. And we're here now. So yeah, it was a blessing, man, to even see that 289 kids running around, just having a good time. I got like probably 100 text messages that did the camp, like, my son had an amazing time. Even kids that didn't want to play football before, now they're playing now. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, cool. We did our job, as far as showing people what we got going on.
So what's next for you?
So next, obviously, you got one for the city.
Right.
That's next. I mean, I feel like, we're one play away. We been there, since I've been there, been four times, been to the state championship game. Just haven't won one yet, So, you want to do that for the city, man, because 36 years is a long time, especially with a town full of that talent.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you at least sew one up for the city, at least, not 1, 2. Show everybody, we are worthy to be champions, and we working hard for that. So that's the next thing we want to do. We want to do something special for the city this year, man. And, go out and get what we deserve because we've been working hard for it.
Yeah. So I usually ask 5 quick questions.
I'm ready.
Just give me your top 5.
Top 5.
All right. Now, I asked Coach. I had Coach Bather on here. Sorry, Brandon. I kept saying it with the S. I kept saying it with the S, but I know it's Bather. I don't know. It's something in my head.
That's a good dude right there, man. Yeah. Congratulations too, B.
So I'll ask you, top 5 guys you coach. They don't have to be the most talented. They can be guys that you just really enjoy coaching. There's no disrespect to anybody else out there that you coach.
Well, we all know number 1. So I don't really got to say too much about that.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, obviously, will be 1. Next would be Zaire Jones. Zaire Jones was I ain't got to say too much about him.
Good.
It was crazy because JT rushed for, 2,800 yards. And then Zaire rushed for like 2,000. And people kind of looked at that like that was like just 2,000. I'm like, no, 2,000 is a lot of yards too.
A lot of yards, yeah.
So he was he's a special player, to coach and watch him grow. He was 1, he'll be 2. 3, Amani Justice. Okay. My linebacker, Amani. Special kid, smart, intelligent, playing in the PSAC right now. Man, he's a student of the game and a hard worker. So that's 3. I got 2 left. You're making this hard for
got
right
2
now,
left.
man. Yo, fellas, don't get mad at me either. You know, I love all you guys, man. So 2, we'll go with.
I ask this so it can be hard because I know sometimes like certain kids touch you in certain ways.
Right.
And it's no disrespect to nobody,
Right,
but
absolutely.
you have your reasons for really enjoying coaching a player. Like I had 2 of my favorite players at your camp.
Right.
I had Danny Curtis and I had Quanzel Lambert there. They both were my linebackers.
Right.
And but you see Danny, he's short, undersized, played at Rowan, but Danny was a guy that would give me
100%.
110. Like he run through the wall.
Yeah.
Quanzel was the guy that I had to talk to his dad to even give him play. So, and you see him, he's the specimen guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always like to ask coaches that, man. And I got another guy, Josh Reddick is one of mine.
Josh Reddick, okay.
Josh Reddick he played quarterback for me. He's up at Kobe College up in New Hampshire, I believe.
Familiar.
Very smart guy. He wasn't the most talented, but he just worked hard. Worked hard and was smart. So that's why I like to see.
He mix it up. Yeah, so that's my 3. My other 2 would be, you can go Jamel Bundy.
Okay.
My Q. Jamel Bundy. I got one more, man. Got between Jameer Josh or man.
You could bunch a team in there. Your first team. You
got Jameer Josh, Jayon, Justin. I'm like, it's a lot of them guys.
There you go.
Man.
That's good enough.
It's a lot of those dudes. Man. Like that's a lot. We got a lot. We was blessed with a lot of talent, man.
A lot of talent. Want to thank you for coming in. I'm not going to hold you up, but I want to thank you, man. And one thing I do want to tell you is that people appreciate you out here. We got to do better with that and letting guys know that we appreciate what they do for the community, even from afar. I may not be directly touched by what you're doing down in Salem, but I'm definitely taking notice. So I wanted to make sure I got you here and gave the people a chance to see you and know you a little better. So I thank you for coming in. Anything you want to get out there to the people?
Obviously August 27th, man, Battle of the Beach. Cop your tickets, man. It's gonna be a good day. Salem versus Camden, so we looking to spice it up, man. Give people a show out there, man. So that's gonna be a good first game for us.
Salem versus Camden. My prediction, I can't get my prediction.
Not yet.
I'm a high guy.
That's your city, man.
That's my city.
You gotta ride with them. I respect that.
I'm gonna ride with the city. I
respect that.
I definitely love what both of you guys are doing with Coach Sav too. But I will be at the Battle of the Beach too. I want to wish you luck on that game. Salem High School. Definitely want to wish you guys luck. You guys always show me love when I come down here.
Definitely. Anything
always.
You do, man. We respect everything you got going on. Like I said, we ain't had this platform when I was coming up, man. So the platform you building for the city, South Jersey and even Jersey, man, it's amazing. Yeah. Because these kids got like I said, you gotta work hard to fail right now, man. You know what I mean? Because all the platforms, things that's in place for kids to be successful. Yeah. Man, it's definitely a good thing to see.
What's your quarterback name now, Coach?
Jakai Coach,
Coach?
Jakai Coach. Yeah.
I follow him on. See, that's the thing, kids today, please. Can you just give me some part of your name and your, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's QB 586. What is his name? But I knew his last name was Coach.
Coach, yeah.
I saw him last year playing with y'all, and that kid, you went from quarterback to defensive end / outside linebacker.
Yep.
I don't know many quarterbacks that's going to do that right now.
He's a tough kid.
Yeah.
Tough kid, man. It was shaky at first,
right?
Because the first 9 games I didn't do it, but then I was like, yo, let's see what Jakai got at linebacker, and smart. And he knows where to be, and he want to hit. So you find a quarterback that's aggressive that want to play defense too. I'm like, let's chance it. Let's see what he got, because you don't want to put your quarterback out there, man. Especially a kid like him, because his high caliber at the quarterback position. You don't want to lose him on defense.
But it's tough for you because you got a Dante Culpepper, Donovan McNabb style quarterback, and then you got a Khalil Mack outside linebacker.
So I mean, I look at teams that done it in the past. West Defford.
Okay.
They had a big quarterback one year. When Coach Wilson was coach at the time, and he's playing stand-up defense end for him. So I'm like, all right, you hold your breath when he's out there, but you gotta let him go,
gotta
man.
do what you gotta do, yeah.
You gotta let him go.
Yeah.
But Jakar's a dude, man. Led us to two state championships freshman year, sophomore year, undefeated season, and we'll see what we do this year.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Salem, Rams, Ram gang.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I
RG,
want to thank you for coming in once again. Thank you, sir, for coming in, guys. This is another episode of One on One. Hope you guys are enjoying it. We got another special one next week. Make sure you guys tune in, share it out, follow Coach Montre on all your social platforms, and I'll put it in the description. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm out.